Hi, I'm Chris Adams from the Coach Education team here at Football New South Wales. Today I'm going to just walk you through an activity that you can do with your players if you're working in the grassroots space, be it in youth, junior or even in the senior space, as to how you can get your players warmed up but also working on their passing and their receiving. So the activity is going to start off in a square, depending on how many players you have, will depend on the size of the area, but let's say a 30 by 30 space such as this. So there's my square, and then I'm doing this activity off of 14 players. You might have to modify this depending on how many players you have, but I'm going to start with the yellow team positioned on the outside of the square pretty evenly around the outside. So there's my 2, 4, 6, 7 players there, and then I'm going to position on the inside my other 7 players. They're going to be positioned on the inside of the square. Now the players on the inside, they're going to start with a ball. They're going to have one ball each, and how the practice is going to work is that these players on the inside, if I take this player here, they're going to dribble with their ball around the square. They're going to go and visit a player on the outside, play a pass to that player on the outside who's going to control the ball. They could take their touch to the side, for example, or they just keep the ball moving, and then they will then play their pass back to the player that passed the ball to them. Once that player has got the ball, they will then look to dribble off, find another yellow player on the outside. It could be this player over here. They will play the pass exactly the same again to the player on the outside who will control the ball, then return it back to them, and they will then repeat that activity by dribbling with their ball to another yellow player on the outside, and then the practice then follows that trend. You can start off the activity with it being a simple pass on the floor where the players are using the inside of their foot, and then you can start to have some different elements of passing for the players where they have to use the outside of their foot. They might have to do a chip pass as the ball looks to come in, but trying to get them to pass the ball in different ways. After a certain amount of time, the black players will then rotate with the yellow players, and then the yellow players will come into the practice and they will then have a go at moving around the area with their ball, looking to complete the same activity of dribbling around the area, trying to find their teammate who receives it and then passes the ball back to them. One thing for the players on the inside to look to try and do is, as the ball is coming towards them, can they look to be in a position where they can see where the ball's coming from, and then they can see where they want to then take the ball next, so that they're able to potentially be side on, so that as the ball is coming towards them, rather than being where that number 5 can only see that player, they're side on so they can see where the ball's coming from and where they want to go, so they can take their first touch quickly to then play their next pass. Enjoy the activity.